Okay, so this video is going to be based on the quarter note exercise in the Total Rock Drummer book, which is this book, which I know all of my students have, so we can follow along. And page 12, let me explain what we're going to do and how it works. I'll explain it as clear as I can, and I'm going to play it really slow, and hopefully you can follow along, okay? So just as a recap, if you don't remember or you don't know, quarter notes are simply counted 1, 2, 3, 4. And in common music, we're going to count to 4 and repeat that number, okay? There are other time signatures which apply quarter notes, but we won't deal with that right now. We'll get into that at a later time. For now, it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeated over and over and over until we're done the exercise, okay? So if you look at the first measure or the first set of notes that we see on the page, we have 4 quarter notes on our snare drum. Now this is up to you. I suggest playing single stroke roll, which means alternating stroke. If you want to just work on your weak hand, if it's the right hand or the left hand, that's going to be up to you. We're just working on accuracy for note values here. That's what this whole exercise is about, okay? Now, if I see the first bar, I see 4 quarter notes. It's simply going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was to repeat that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's nice and simple. I think most of you can probably do that. The second measure beside it, to the right of it, remember music we always read crosswise. We're not reading down, we're going to read across and then down and across. So the second measure at the top of the page, we see 3 quarter notes, and then we see this funny looking shape. I used to remember it as a seagull flying in the wind, and he gets caught in the wind and he goes sideways. So it's like a funny looking bird sideways. I don't know how else to describe that thing. A squiggly line, some people say. I like to say it's a seagull that got caught in the wind at the beach. So next time you're at the beach, look up and see if there's a bird that turns into a quarter note rest. That's called a rest, and it simply means that we are not going to be playing. You're going to count it. You'll notice that the count says 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is in parentheses or brackets. That is meaning that we're not going to play it. The time is still there. We just don't play it. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So notice I'm not playing on the rest. Rest means silence. Note means noise, sound, and rest means silence. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few more examples here, and then we'll play the whole thing together. The next line down, so the first measure in a bar is the same thing, just so we know. The first measure, the first bar of the second line down, we see 2 quarter notes, and then we see 2 quarter note rests, right? The seagull flying sideways in the wind. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had some students ask me, is it okay to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is when you're learning. It's okay, but don't get into a habit where you can't stop your sticks. If you decide to get into a drum line or a drum corps or any kind of marching band, you're probably going to have to keep your sticks very steady during any kind of rest period. So you don't want to get into the habit of playing air drum notes while you're not playing. So simply all we're doing there is we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one more example, the one right beside it, we only see 1 quarter note, and then we see 3 quarter note rests, okay? And you can see that I have 2, 3, and 4 all bracketed at the same time, which means we don't play those notes. I think you guys are probably understanding that by this point. It's fairly simple. So here's, as I count it in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So pretty self-explanatory, okay? All right, here's the challenge that I want you all to try. Once you kind of go through each exercise individually, count out loud, change up your sticking, whatever you want to do, try to play the whole thing nonstop. That's the purpose of this exercise, and the goal of what we're doing here in this video is to go all the way down from the top all the way down to the bottom. Notice that the first bar of the page is exactly the same as the last bar. So there's a little bit of a theme here. Nothing too exciting, but good to get understanding rhythm right off the bat. So if I put my metronome on at 60, okay, I'm not going to put an accent, okay? I'm not going to have an accent. I just want the note to be I can come in at any point. I don't even need to look at my metronome. When I'm ready, I'm going to come in. Okay, so I like to give myself a 4 count. A really good habit for all you drummers is learn how to count yourself in, or learn how to count the band in when you start playing with a group of people. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. How'd you do? It gets a little weird halfway down, right? So if you found that it was a little bit challenging, maybe starting on the 5th line down where we had some rest sort of in the middle and some notes at the beginning and the end, it can be a little weird. So you might want to just spend some time doing that. Obviously, changing your beat every single time you go to a new bar can be challenging. That's the reading challenge. So let me know how you did. I want you to practice that. You can rewind the video and go back to where I just played the whole exercise on page 12. Lots of fun. That was 60 beats per minute. You're welcome to start there or start even lower if you want, slower. Most metronomes go down lower, and you can go even faster. At some point, you want to go faster and just work on your reading. So that's page 12, Total Rock Drummer. I hope you had fun. Happy drumming with that, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.